So welcome back to another episode of Devon's Beekeeping, guys. And today I'm gonna be doing something a little special. I will be taking some of my scrapses and I'm gonna turn them into a useful product in the hive again. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Alright, so what we're looking at here are scrapses of wood that I have left over from previous buildings that would be pretty much from building out most of the nooks is where I have most of these scrapses from. I'm building deep boxes. So typically when I have the scrapses, I normally turn these either into top or bottom bar, and that's pretty much all that I use these for. But one other little thing that I think I'm gonna include in my operation, and what I think, and that's what I'm gonna be actually building today, is that it's going to be a bee escape. It's not something that can be readily purchased in Jamaica. I doubt it can be purchased at all. I've never seen it at any of the bee stores, but anybody who probably know where you can get it, you can just let everybody know in the comments of the description if there's anywhere locally that it can be purchased. But in St. James, Montego Bay, I've not seen that before at any other bee store. So what you're gonna pretty much need, the obvious scraps of wood. I bought this pipe in here, and I think it's 5/8. It's a hot water pipe, can be found at any of the local hardwares, and this is gonna be used as the tubing for the bees to escape out of. And as we get down, you'll see it specifically how it's done. This is 1/4-inch treated ply. You can see that I use this from one of my projects where I build the queen castles. These are some of the byproducts that was left over for that, so we're gonna convert that back into something useful again. And then of course we have this, which is the I think it's 1/16 mesh, very fine, made out of metal, and this is what you're gonna be using as well. This is a key part of it. And I'm gonna explain to you, I opted to use because in my opinion it takes less material to make other than the triangle one, and I don't have big sheets of ply, or I'm not gonna use those kind of material. So I'd rather have everything sectioned and then use this to cover most of the surface area, so the bees can't come back up once they go through the bee escape. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start the build.
So this is an escape board, and all it is just a board with a screen and a channel down the center.
So what you see me doing, guys, this is pretty much what I've been watching. I've been looking at it, and based on what I see here, I think it's something easy to replicate. I'm just having an idea of how it is constructed, and then from there
so this is an
I can easily go ahead and replicate it.
with a screen and a channel down the center. And this one's a conical type skateboard made by Lewis Farms up in Austin, Manitoba. It's a series of cones.
Okay.
Which,
Alright. Starters, the outer diameter, that's the part that's gonna make out the box. I'm gonna cut those into 2-inch strips of wood. The lumber is 2 centimeter in width, and I'm gonna cut it into 2-inch for the sides and front of the bee escape. So let me start cutting the wood up, and then I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. this this will be put back into making bottom bars for my frames. So now that we have cut the outer part of the bee escape, we're gonna now cut the center channel in between. So we are gonna cut it, we're not gonna cut it at 2 inches. We're gonna cut it 2 inches minus the diameter of this. So when we put this in there in the center, it will sit flush pretty much. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna be cutting the strips for the centerpiece. Alright, so now we have the middle piece cut. Over here we have the lengths, and then the widths are down there. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them into the individual lengths, desired lengths that I need. So for the outer perimeter, which is the length of the bee escape, it's gonna be 19.25. For the width, 16.5. And then this will just be the distance in between. And we're gonna just go ahead and start now, so keep watching. All right, so we have everything cut to width and length. So we're now gonna, in essence, make a cut like this to get the wood to come up like this pretty much. So it's gonna sit like this. This is the joint that I'm gonna be using. So the wood is gonna come like this, and then we're pretty much okay. So I'm gonna go ahead now and run this through on the table saw. So let's keep going. Alright guys, so what I'm essentially doing here is to drill out 5 set of hole, and it's done by a 5/8 spade bit, and that is just to allow it to accept the pipe that I'm gonna be putting in. So it'll accept the pipe, and then the pipe can be cut to about here, and then I'll heat the rim of the pipe to allow it to be melted, so I can bring down the diameter almost into a cone. Or I think I can even leave it like this, but I'm gonna try 2 methods, with the little cone and with the pipe just being the pipe as is, to see if it will make a difference for the bees. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna cut it, do the same until I have 5 holes for everything. So we're almost finished, and then I'll just do the final assembly, and then that's gonna be it for the escape. For the holes, these are cutting 2 inches, and I use heat to reduce the front part, so probably about a B alone can go through, so 1 B space. I'm gonna be trying some without reducing the B space, just to see if 2B can go out at a time, if that is still gonna work effectively, or do I still need to reduce all of them to 1 B space. So now it's just to install these in the hole, and pretty simple. There we go. So we're gonna do this for everyone, and that's gonna be, for the most part, the hardest part to do. Everything else is just a matter of easy cuts that we can just easily make those cuts, because I need to make a shim that's gonna be enough bee space for the bees to come down and still make their way through. So continue to watch the build, guys, as I work on making the bee escape. Alright guys, so this is where I'm at. So just install the quarter mesh with just normal staple, and the final thing now is to have a mesh screen here and then a shim around, and then that's it. And in theory, these supposed to go down through and don't come back out, because bees are very vertical when they're in the hive, so they're most likely to come up, be stopped by the mesh, and then the one that comes down will go through, but they won't know how to come back through to the holes. So in theory it should work. When I'm harvesting honey, I'll put it in practice and see if it actually works the way how it's supposed to, or I need to modify it a little bit more. But these are cut into 2 inches and staples, so everything is flush. So when I put this down on the hive like this, it should sit. There shouldn't be any gaps or anything like that, and the bees can easily go down, but they can't come back up. So gonna keep on work on this. The weather is working against me today, so that's why I cut in some of the stuff short and just showing you pretty much what the end result is. So continue to watch, guys. All right, so here we are, guys, with the finished product. I had to skip along, but pretty much only thing that I did was I cut the fabric to the lens staple along, and then I made some shims to give a bee space so the bee can come down. When they come down, they hit here, they'll walk across, walk down, hopefully they'll find the hole and go out, and then when they're coming, they're gonna come back up and be stuck against here. So that's the theory. There it is, finished product. Like, share, comment, let me know what you think, and then as the season progresses, I'll be testing these out, so you'll know first and if my little thinking worked out or it didn't work out. Have a good one, guys. Bye.